Finite Prepositionless Blur, a DXM and Cannabis strip report by Hector the Crow, uploaded to Earwood July 13, 2008. I drank the extracted powder in a series of 10 sips. Immediately, my heart began pounding. I'd been gung-ho about this planned mental vacation for days, but upon ingesting the substance I began suffering the dread that always accompanies the come on. This time, it was more severe than ever. I began to think I'd done too much and was in for a hell ride at the very least. My fears seemed to be confirmed as the swoon came over me, a sort of clean alcohol-like intoxication. There was a fiery buzz which felt like my brain cells burning. It wasn't supposed to be this hot. My hands started tingling, then my body became totally numb. And then, I slipped into the semi-lucid delirium. This wasn't supposed to happen for hours. Fuck. My thoughts quickly spiraled into a negative feedback loop. I flushed my mind down the toilet of my soul into the dark, grimy, internal plumbing of my pseudo-masochistic psyche. Shite. I was nothing, and I was everything. Everything was nothing. A rotting, stinking nothing. A scab maroon, Sucrit's crimson alpha, and a black suicide omega, all of no consequence. I'd created all perception through my being, and now I was going to destroy that being. I was going to be the god that failed. I was manufacturing meaning, and the meaning was, this is it, the truth, the absurdity, firsthand. It was a glimpse of limits, ugly jagged contours and hard edges. Then the voice started talking to me. You have to face this truth in order to be enlightened. I didn't want to face anything, but I didn't want to run back into my hidey hole of delusion either, not after being thrust out of orbit and twisted into a new spin resonance. Stepping outside into the cool fresh air, and escaping the reek of the Sucrit smoothie, helped me for a while, but the panic eventually invaded this sanctuary. I went back inside and called a friend. She'd been my saviour in unholy hubristic schemes before. Gretchen, are you there? It's me, Faust. I've got myself into a bit of a mindfuck again. I'm on the wagon. Or is that off? And where's the destination? And is there really a wagon anyway? Oh crap. I don't know what the prepositional matrix is here, or there, or anywhere. Gretchen calmed me enough to keep me out of the sewers of my mind, but I felt her presence was needed. She came over and kept me distracted from the existential inferno. I agreed it would be a good idea to smoke a joint, so I took a few tokes. This immediately reversed the polarity of the trip from negative to positive, while intensifying the disorientation. There was substantial visual distortion. Everything jittered, staggered, jerked away from focus in a taunting smear. Double vision, triple vision, morpho vision, strobe vision, field of view skewed texture, two-dimensional depth condensation. Two-headed Gretchen in a flowing, flowering split, googly-eyed. Becca, my cat on top of a cart, bouncing up into view again and again, boing, boing, boing. Spinning, looking down, seeing alien continents in the kitchen floor, linoleum tile coastlines. I was a Brobdingnagian towering above creation. Prepositions scrambled, inverted, flanged, fused. Holding my computer mouse, I noticed that my left and right hands felt inverted. There was no ambiguity about this feeling. Although I moved normally, the sensation persisted. Mixed signals to limbs alternated with complete anesthesia. Body felt spring-loaded. All actions were sweeping arcs, supermotion. I often felt too tall and sometimes floating like a ghost. Sound was difficult to describe as well. Distant, disconnected. Time alternately dilated and condensed. There were episodes of slow motion, and I heard myself stretching out syllables for ages but in a normal tone of voice in a normal delivery attempt. Then came the fugue state. Mental polyphony. Multiple voices in my head. Not literal voices, but lines of thought, forming cognitive counterpoint and divergent mind's-eye visual streams. A highly artistic flange. A multi-dimensional synesthetic music video. This coalesced into the form of ink-rendered hallucinations. My visions, motific mental imagery sprouting from the fractal seed of the artwork I'd been drawing the last few weeks. The infinitely regressing pen scratched biomechanical landscapes gave way to a fluorescent spinning circuit, a torus cave half fused with a rapid counterclockwise, circumnavigation of the first floor interior of my house. In the cerebral extract of this information, I sense profundity in and of itself, importance as purity, something deep and yet negatively charged. The green tide pool, the fornicating fountain, the finite flow. Something to face, or something to get past? In this blur, it was hard to find the edges of good and evil. I was near a state of debauchery. Euphoria and dysphoria blended into a singular emotional intensity. I've been rocked to both extremes until the emotional waves superimposed and neutralised. I was flooded with alien intuition, inanimate insights under cartoon cover, set to a soundtrack, out of the black, slowly squeezing into my mind, agents of the static, shrouded in the light. I made some attempts at dragging my pseudo-satanic tripmate into the vortex of nihilism I'd torn in the fabric of reality, for company in the semantic tide pool of finity. Sick, but she was on an angular plane. The bisection was Hunter S. Thompson crazy. Ah, yes, I remember. Gonzo Perfecto, a fish jump, a Neil Armstrong step. Staggering crystalline confusion with mashed potatoes of cliched expression and a gravy of novelty. I was being given a tour of a future initiation, overseen by an inner entity, the me that is the dark half of reality. I was being shown a stark and terrible, yet noble and beautiful truth, but I couldn't fully comprehend it, because I'd already declined to face it when the delirium came on. My inner entity accepted that I wasn't ready, and would not force the vision on me. But the sense I got from that oblique imagery with its non-local semantic attachment was that existence is profoundly finite. There is no me, and there is only me. I am all that is, and when I end, there will be nothing. A few hours later, still riding the storm, in a surprisingly lucid transcription, I wrote down the Nietzsche quote, "When you look into the void looks into you." If I was a psychological reductionist, I would say that this was an amplification of my obsessive fears over death. I work easy, I slack hard. Faust shrugged. Mephistopheles had his cake and ate it too, with a fork too long for the damned to use. He was a moving gravity well of hell, bending the rules to his will. I was right. It was to be edited, and this is it. The packaging of the memory, the wrapping of the all-purpose void, the vacuum seal, the surface. To be put under the tree and not opened until Judgment Day when my old pal Mephistopheles comes to tempt me once again. Will I have the nerve to accept? To indulge indulgence itself? To sacrifice to the revelry? To summon Satan and complete the trip? To face the finite? Here's what I wrote while in the grip of the trip. I'll never be able to explain this night. It was crazy. It defied the laws of metaphysics and physics. It defied everything just for the hell of it. It was definition cognition. It was another tango with the universe. Damn, I can't explain. It was set to a Mahler symphony. It watched over Gretchen and me. Ham and honey mustard sauce on the side. It is uncredible. Eine kleine Miktmusik. It is a ridiculous catharsis with headphones on. It will be edited. It is it. What do I write? Fugue collapsed. State vector decayed. Lime pile of pulsating limonide dream contours plagiaulated nicely onward forward. Flow, 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 low, drip, dripe, type, tip, tripe. I've broken through. To the Afterglow plateau. I've got a chestnut in my hand. I've seen what I will eventually have to face. Emerging from the haze, I don't know what to say. I was elsewhere. I got the prototype, I saw things, hung around with a real hallucination. I'm still reeling. Can't articulate properly, Jesus. This is a Sigma aftermath. Still roiling in dextrose ripple, higher than I thought. Oh my god, was all I could say. There's something I'll have to face one day. My visions. Everyone's got their own. It's a preparation for death, just like the gurus say. Gretchen left after a reasonable interlude of supervision. I walked around in a daze, whispering words of rumoured rapture until sufficiently fatigued to climb into bed. I remained high as a space kite. I wondered if I would ever come down. I closed my eyes, but I would not sleep. Instead, I entered a perfectly benign, half-sleeping state in which visual nirvana filled the cracks in consciousness. It was the music video I remembered from my first DXM experience. A rolling, consonant collage of alien sounds and whirling, writhing textures. The voice was gone now, and I knew I no longer had to think. There were no associated insights, just a soothing, grooving, washing stimulus, retirement for my overworked brain. The beatific end to this dextro universe, this microcosm. What do I make of this? I read what I wrote during the rave, when dressed in the Emperor's new clothes, fractionally phenomenal garments inversely spun of an old deja thread. I sensed sincerity in the often nonsensical sentences. It was an honest transcription of the chaotic convergence. I maintain that dextromethorphan is my friend, though an enigmatic ally, and one to be called upon rarely. I find that dextro is best mediated with my more stable pharmacological partner, cannabis. I'm sure all three of us will meet again, but not so soon. I've got to give it some time.